this story happened right a little bit after Johnny Knoxville and I made Dukes of Hazzard. So it was the winter, and I get a call at my house. I was living up in the Hollywood Hills, and so was Knoxville. And he said, "Hey, I got a question for you. Would you mind helping us out with a little gag in Jackass 2?" And I was like, immediately, my tentacles were up, because the one thing, as you know, Jeff, is you never trust Johnny Knoxville. Frankly, I wouldn't trust you either, or any of your people, because I got to know you all pretty well during the making of Dukes, and I felt occasionally tricked.
People, you mean the Jackass
people?
The
Jackass people. That's right. Yeah. That's right. The Jackass people. I didn't mean to trend into some sort of racial incident that quickly. But thank you for saving me, Hayes. So look, during Jackass, Knoxville and brought me into that game where you randomly punch your friend in the balls without warning. And he did it to me repeatedly. It was one of those games you had to really learn. It took a long time to learn to cover your balls up every time he was around.
Is it a game, or is it just
a way of life?
It's torture.
It's torture. Well, it hit you real hard. Like, I was giving a speech thanking.
There's only one rule: hit the guy in the ball.
That's right. I was giving
easiest game in the world.
On the last day of the Dukes of Hazzard, I was giving a speech thanking the entire crew and the cast. And boom, he drills me right there, right in the middle of my damn speech. Like, there was no safety. Let alone, of course, he and I went out every single night in Louisiana during that period. We connected over that. And, he was, at the time, he was on, I think it was Adderall. And so I would be sitting there drinking with him, just me and him, and I'd hear a clink. And you'd look, and there's a little pink pill in your glass where he had tried to just loft it in, but he actually clinked against the glass. He was a terrible basketball player. But anyway, I was on edge. So he's like, "Can you help us with a little gag on Jackass 2?" And I'm like, so I go over to his house, or someone's house, and Spike Jonze is there, and you're there. And the gag is explained to me by you guys, is that Aaron Danger is going to dress like a Middle Eastern terrorist. He's going to be wearing a dynamite vest. He's going to be attempting his best Middle Eastern accent, which you all assured me would be terrible. And he will be wearing a beard made of the pubic hair of all the members of Jackass. And that the gag was that I would be playing a cab driver, because I'm Indian, and he wouldn't notice, was the idea.
You people.
So then I would pick him up in a cab, drive him to the Burbank airport, but he thinks I'm driving to the Burbank airport, but I'm really driving him to a location that you guys have rigged with cameras and then at the end of that, basically what I'm told is, on the way to the airport, he's going to insult America and insult my wife, and I am supposed to get mad at him. I'm supposed to blow by the Burbank airport, pull into an enclosed alley, get out of the car, pull a gun, which is a fake gun, but he was promised by you guys that the gun wouldn't be there. The driver would not have a gun. That's what he was promised, right? And so I was supposed to pull this gun, get out of the car, yank him out of the car, punch him, kick him, dominate him like an animal so he knew he was dominated, and get him in the goddamn trunk. And then shut the door, and then I was done, and you guys would come in and drive around and do donuts and whatever. And I was looking at Knoxville and looking at you and looking at Spike. I'm like, look, I'm no fucking idiot, okay? I know this is a double cross. I know you're going to fuck me somehow. And Knoxville says, normally you would be dead right. But this one time, we need your help, and we are not going to double cross you this one time. And if I said, all right, I'll just wait for the fucking double cross to hit. I'm going to do it. And on the day of, the only difference that happened was you know, one of you, I think you asked me if you could shave my pubes as well to add them to the mix. So I was going to the bathroom, and you're like, hey, can a cameraman come in with you? And I'm like, no. so I shaved him. Trust me, they'll be my pubes. And he had some pubes on his face too. And to all your credit, the gag went incredibly well. And
for us,
go ahead.
For us, it was a win. If we got our pubic hair on his face, that's where our goal was, right? Anything after that was just gravy time, And, but we did predict it all the way through, all the way to the very end, Like, we luckily had it planned out to fucking put him in the trunk, drive him. Like, I couldn't believe we got it that far. But
well, when I pulled the gun, he goes to Dimitri, who was in the back with the camera,
right,
pretending to be on his side. He said, "I told you he'd have a gun," and you're like,
well, he brought the idea of the gun up. So the night before, he was like, what if he has a gun? I'm like, oh, he won't have a gun. And then right away, Knoxville's like, we got to get a gun. So
Mustache Tales.